Bom dia from Alentejo, Portugal. Happy spring. So it is my first video I'm making since spring has sprung. This is our first spring here on the land in Alentejo. It was our year anniversary of moving in on May 18th, so we got to celebrate that. And yeah, we just completely fell in love with springtime here. It was perfect weather, like the best temperature, beautiful skies, green, lots and lots of wildflowers, which I'm just absolutely obsessed with. We started planting our garden, which you saw in our last video. Yeah, it was pretty awesome. The only downside was that this year was so dry for most of the beginning of spring, to the point where everything was like, it looked really dry. All of the grass got dry really fast, so we quickly had kind of those more golden wheat tones that we expect a little bit closer towards the summer, but still beautiful. It just wasn't as lush for as long as we thought it might be. But the last few weeks, we've actually gotten a good amount of rainfall, which is so nice, wonderful for the land, and also for us to not have to come out into the garden and water for an hour and a half at least every day. We have one watering can and we do it all by hand. Well, that's not true. We have a hose that reaches to some of the beds, but then the rest we do by hand. So it takes us a long time. So when it rains, we're like, oh, cool, we don't have to water tonight. This spring has also brought up the first problem that we had with our house last year. It's kind of come back. So I'll tell you a little bit more about that later in the video. stand up? Show your whole look. Look like a spring chicken. Oh, the lovely sound of birds. Except when they start digging your roof up and you wake up with bites all over you and you're itchy. So as I mentioned at the beginning, we have had some issues that we are working with. I mean, we've had quite a few, but there's just one that I'm going to tell you about right now. When we moved in last May, I'd say a few nights into sleeping in the house, we all started waking up in the middle of the night quite often, like kind of itchy, and each night we would wake up a little more itchy than the night before, and then there were eventually nights where like we could not sleep at all because we were so itchy. So couldn't figure it out. I started looking down at my arms and noticing, oh, there are tiny little bugs crawling all over me. So we talked to our neighbors about it, and we figured out that what it is that we have bird mites dropping from our ceiling onto us. Isn't that lovely? Our roof is quite poorly done. It's something that we definitely have to redo. When it's a heavy rain, it leaks water in the house. But yeah, the whole bird mite thing is just kind of next level. The birds are able to get under the tiles and build their nests. And so because the house was sitting for a while before it was sold, I mean, and maybe they were already doing this actually, but there were over 50 nests when we moved in last year. So we removed a lot of them and put up a tarp last year. But then this year, John and I, we were trying to be proactive. And so we felt like, okay, we're not going to use the tarp, because the tarp was really hard because with the wind, the whole thing would lift. So we said, let's use like a fine net that will hold the tiles down, that will make it difficult for the birds to get in, but that the wind can pass through so it doesn't lift. So we did our best to use like those green fruit tree nets and put them up on the roof, which I'll show you some footage of. Okay, so what we've been doing is pulling the net down, and then I've been trapping it under a tile. I'm just skipping one and then trapping it. And then, I don't know if you can see, but then like right here, I put that little tile so that it holds down the net in the middle, because then the birds have still been being able to get underneath still. We were very hopeful that that would solve all of our problems and we would have an itch-free spring, but definitely hasn't turned out like that. We've been sleeping in our living room because the living room has the least amount of the mites falling. But 2 nights ago we tried to sleep in our bedroom again, and last night when we were going to bed, John picked 11 of them off of his pillow, and so we said, okay, let's go back into the living room. Yeah, it's annoying, to be honest, and I'm so itchy, like I just itch all the time. So if anyone has any tips for what we could do, I would really appreciate that, because I'm kind of sick of it, to be honest. Like, we're going with it and it is what it is. I feel like I'm handling it better than I did last year, but again, if anyone has tips on how we can get rid of that, that would be amazing. We might just have to wait it out, but. You guys ready? Let's go! Let's go! Thank you for watching, and we'll see you next time. Have a great week or month, whatever it ends up being.